So the formation for eight-a-side play, what we advocate is a 2-1-3-1 formation. So basically that means that there's two central defenders covering that goalkeeper. Then there's what's called a holding mid, okay? And this trifecta, this trio forms a partnership and stays together. Then we have three midfielders, the left wing, the central midfielder, and the right wing. And then we have our striker. So we'll go over the how they work together and their roles and responsibilities in the next slide. So defensive principles. So essentially there's two schools of thought with the defensive principles. Obviously a team can press very high and try and win that ball back in the opposition's half. Or they can just drop off and stay nice and compact and not give anything away at the back.
At your club, we advocate for a pressing style.
It's quite aggressive. So let's just say the opposition have the ball in this area. What we'd like to see is that we go and win that ball back, and we win that ball back by hunting in a pack. So let's say the ball's in this area. We want to close off the wing. So we have our wide players channel the play to the middle in here. It's almost like a funnel. Whenever they get the ball wide, we try and funnel to the middle because that's where our supporting players are. We'd have our striker closing off any kind of ball across this way. We'd have our offensive center midfielder hunting in a pack with the first defender just off the side. We'd have our holding mid pushed up as well. We'd have our center backs pushed up as well, and we'd have this weak side winger, rather than being just out on the wing, they'd be tucked in and nice and compact as well. So again, if we only give them that middle, we take away the wing, then it's a funnel and it's a predictable flow where we can win the ball back. So that if that ball comes into here, there's a good chance with that little diamond of compaction that we can maybe win the ball back. So that's our plan, to put pressure on the opposition in their half and look to win the ball back high up the field. If we win the ball high up the field, we're more likely to score goals. Now let's just say the opposition get by us and the ball comes into maybe this area here. What's very important is that we have defenders that are protecting what's important. And we always need at least one defender in this area. Okay. So let's just say one defender comes out, the other one remains central and provides that balance, closes off the dangerous space where all the goals are scored in that area. Our holding mid connects that triangle that we talked about before. The holding mid might even fill in a gap to help out that center back, to ensure we have balance to close off that dangerous space. Let's bring these players back a little bit. Let's put some pressure on the ball there. Let's move our holding mid back to connect the triangle. It makes it very hard to pass through. There's our offensive mid. We always like to have that depth and that outlet up front. And of course, we wouldn't have our winger over here. We like them nice and compact. So that would be some really good defensive shape right there. And the rule of thumb is there's an imaginary line all the way down the field. We want to make sure that we have at least two of our defenders, the weak side. So the weak side is the area that's not being attacked. So these defenders, if they can stay central on that line, that's fantastic. And vice versa, if that ball switches to the opposite side, can we put pressure on the ball? Can we channel to the middle and get that defender across to support and cover? The other defender comes central. The holding mid might drop into the hole and look to plug a gap. Basically, the offensive center mid goes where the ball is. Our striker provides that depth, so if we get the ball, we get a quick counterattack. And of course, like I said before, the weak side midfielder, the winger, drops into that middle line and just makes everything nice and compact. So they're the principles we're looking at. We're looking at compaction, we're looking at balance, we're looking at delay and pressure and support on that ball. So we're looking for that understanding to close off dangerous space, to make it very hard for penetrative passes to come through. We're hunting in a pack. It's team defense. We're hunting in that pack to win the ball back. Okay. So just to review, pressing high up the field, trying to win that ball back with compaction and support. And you know, obviously, if they get into our half, we're getting behind the ball. We're shifting laterally from east to west, trying to get on that middle line and being nice and compact and hard to break down. On the other side of the coin, we have the offensive principles. And one of the most dangerous times for our team will be a goal kick. And often, you know, it's almost like a standoff. You know, that goalkeeper won't know where to play it. They'll be looking left, they'll be looking right. They won't know. Now this year, just to make sure you understand, there is an offside line, or a retreat line that is also the offside line. So basically, the defensive players must wait outside that area. That being said, it's you know, it's imperative that we do have proper shape when we start out, because, you know, after that first, second touch, the opposition will be coming in, and it's important that we have that shape with width and depth to ensure we have big passing lanes. So this is ideally how we would set up, you know, with a goal kick. It would be great to kind of see this pattern here, and we do this. Our center back split, so we can, you know, we can get that ball wide. Now, obviously, if there's an opportunity to go all the way up the field, we should be doing that. You know, our style of play is that we're looking for penetration, but at the same time, we're looking for high percentage penetration. So if it's not on down the field, we don't have to play long. We should have the ability and the mindset that we can play possession out of the back. And you know, it'd be great if the center backs could split, and then when they get the ball and the eyes go up, they take that touch and they look up. You know, we might have our wingers starting here, but as soon as the eyes go up, they're dropping down, looking for that pass with width. If they're a little bit further in, the pass isn't on. There's going to be a first defender coming in there. So it's important that when we can, we've got chalk on our heels, and we're looking for that width so we can, you know, draw defenders out of the middle, for one, so we might be able to play through, but also we have those options nice and wide. The wider we get, the wider the opposition has to get, the bigger the passing lanes. So we're looking for that penetrative yet patient approach to play. What's the best option? How do we know? Well, we've got to make sure that we're using our eyes, taking in information. You know, if we can't go forward, there, then we've got to have that faith in the keeper to play backwards, right? And that's exactly it. You know, if we can play forward, let's do it. But if we can't, maybe we can play to the side and keep possession. If we can't play to the side because we're closed down right away, then it's got to go back. And if it goes back, then we split, and we're looking to advance the ball, to get that ball up the field. We're looking for movement from the front, and that's really important. One word of warning: when we do attack, let's say we get the ball up there, we've committed players forward. We've got our offensive midfielder getting up there. We've got our wingers getting up there. Always want to have the defenders come up as well. They are platform players. They're start again players. So if we do get in trouble, you know, if we do get in trouble, we can always use them as a platform to restart the attack, and then we're looking to build off them. We never want our defenders just hanging out back here, because then we lose a platform here that we can utilize to retain possession. And when we do attack, you know, it's imperative that, you know, if we're attacking with one central midfielder, the other one tucks into this dangerous space. Often we get a situation with teams where we have 5 people attacking, 2 defenders, and nobody is in this dangerous space. If the team picks up the ball here and they advance with other players, it sometimes gets into a 3v2, a 4v2. So it's imperative with that holding midfielder that they drop into this space. That is their space. They're still involved in the play. Every player is involved in the play when we have the ball. Everyone's an attacker, even the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper can come off the line and look to use their feet and retain possession of the ball. In the modern game, the keeper uses his feet more times than his hands. So it's important to breed this mindset that when we have the ball, everyone's an attacker. When we don't have the ball, everyone's a defender and everyone defends. So it really is team offense and team defense. Just because you're a defensive player, you've been put in a defensive responsibility, doesn't mean that you're not an attacker when we have the ball. Everyone attacks. And, kids will often get disappointed because they're not the attacker. They're put as a defender and they're still an attacker when we have the ball. We've got to have that mindset. So that dangerous space is imperative. We've got to plug that gap. We need a holding mid just to fill in there, connect that triangle. And if that triangle moves around together, very effective, very hard to break down. It's really important that, lastly, it's really important that all players play a variety of positions because it maximizes learning.